Hey guys, I'm Whitney. I'm 26. I'm going to start dancing in a minute, but first I want to tell you about why I started this account. See, I didn't know that I was schizophrenic until I saw myself on TikTok. Quick, make sure to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. It's a weird thing to say, but I didn't think that successful people with great grades and good jobs had mental problems. I think the real culprit was my boss, Brian, who was cool enough to give me my first job out of law school. The job came at the right time because my boyfriend, Russell, had just broken up with me. See, Russell thought I was too wound up and said I needed to relax and let him help more. Anyway, the new job was a good distraction. Brian was a hard boss, though. I prepped all his cases and even wrote all his statements, but he would treat me somewhere between a work wife, an assistant, and his mother. I hated it when I'd slave away, setting him up for success, only to be scolded over how I cleaned the coffee maker. I didn't spend 7 years in school to clean the dang coffee maker. I was so angry this one day that I had a breakdown and lost it in front of the entire company. I disassembled that stupid machine and shoved its parts down the garbage disposal in the break room. Brian suggested I take some time for exhaustion and paid for me to see a professional. Dr. Humphreys was the opposite of what I expected, quite unconventional. Our sessions were done at the park or over coffee because she didn't like offices. She didn't take notes while we talked because she said it made human interaction unnatural. One time, she introduced me to laugh therapy, which basically meant I was supposed to force myself to laugh until I started actually laughing. It was a way to relieve stress, which had been building up. Dr. Humphreys also practiced dance therapy. She wanted me to dance around and do karaoke to pop songs. I thought it was starting to get silly and asked her when I was going to be ready to go back to work. But then she said she wanted to get another opinion, and she introduced me to Dr. Hooper. I liked him all right, but then I started noticing that he and Dr. Humphreys were flirting. I asked Dr. Humphreys what was up, and she told me that Dr. Hooper was her boyfriend. I thought it sounded unprofessional, but she said he was a great doctor. I asked her again for her permission to go to work. I felt like I had enough rest and needed to get back to the grind if I wanted to get back to any kind of normalcy. She told me that she wanted to talk to Dr. Hooper and get his professional opinion first. Dr. Hooper told me that I had a strong work ethic, but it still seemed like I was having a difficult time with balance in my life. I was trying to accept his advice. I started to think maybe the break from work was really helping me. But then something strange happened. People started recognizing me everywhere I went. They would ask me if I was going to start dancing or what video I was going to do next. The first time it happened was at a coffee shop, but then a whole crowd of people recognized me at the grocery store. And then the guy at the car wash asked me if I was Dr. Humphreys, the dancing doctor. I asked him what he was talking about and how he knew Dr. Humphreys. He explained that I was internet famous on this app called TikTok, and everybody knew who I was. I didn't even know what TikTok was. I went home to look it up, and I found dozens of videos of myself. I was dancing to Michael Jackson and Madonna and Taylor Swift. I saw myself lip-syncing to all these songs. At first, I thought I just looked exactly like this girl. But when I checked my internet history, I found that I had been on TikTok before. But I had no memory or recollection of doing these things. I tried to call Dr. Humphreys, but her phone was disconnected. Had I made the whole thing up? Had I really been Dr. Humphreys the whole time? I realized that if Dr. Humphreys didn't exist, that meant I didn't need her permission to return to work. But when I talked to Brian, he said that I had quit. He was surprised I didn't remember. He reminded me that I was singing a Lady Gaga song and telling everybody that I was the dancing doctor. I mentioned that they sent me to see Dr. Humphreys, but Brian didn't know what I was talking about. I didn't know who else to call, so I went by to see Dr. Hooper. But he told me that he couldn't see me since I was calling myself his girlfriend and flirting with him. I tried to explain that it was Dr. Humphreys, not me, and that's when he realized the problem. After many sessions and tests, Dr. Hooper diagnosed me as schizophrenic. At first, I thought my life was over, but he believed I would manage well with therapy, and I agreed to come back once a week. Dr. Hooper contacted Brian and explained that my outburst had been out of my control, and I was now in therapy. Brian agreed to let me come back to work, but he said he wanted to keep a close eye on me because of what happened last time. I thought I was off to a good start, but the only problem seemed to be Brian. He was constantly checking in on me, and I felt like I had no room to breathe. One day, we got into this huge fight, and I was telling him to back off. I might have taken it too far because I told him that he couldn't do anything without me, and I was surprised he got his law degree. I was for sure he was going to fire me, but then the most unexpected thing happened. He quit. He just said that if I thought I could do a better job, I should do it. When he left, he did the most immature thing I could imagine. He went through the office, opening everybody's drawers and spilling everybody's files all over the floor. And then he went into the break room and left the refrigerator door open, and he spilled napkins everywhere. The next day, he didn't come back, and Brian's boss, Richard, called me in his office to talk about what happened. I was explaining how Brian was being hard on me, so we were arguing, and how Brian just threw a temper tantrum and stormed off. I told him I was ready to step into court for him, but Richard was confused. He asked me who Brian was and looked at me like I was crazy. Had I done it again? I thought. Had I created Brian too? I went to Dr. Hooper and I told him what happened. He said that I had to understand that I was creating these authority personalities for a reason, to protect myself. I had created Brian to perform my job duties to the best of my abilities. But then I created Dr. Humphreys to protect myself from Brian, who was driving me too hard. And now, here I was talking to Dr. Hooper, who was helping me negotiate between them. And that's when I realized I had created Dr. Hooper as well. I looked in the mirror, and sure enough, I was holding a notepad, and I was wearing Dr. Hooper's glasses. Somewhere in my head, I always knew the truth. I didn't want to tell anybody because of what people might think. I was afraid that I wouldn't be allowed to live a normal life. And so I tried to hide it, but it was starting to get out of control for me. And I thought as long as I was successful, nobody would know. But I guess things got too much for me, and I think I was finally ready to ask for help. I didn't know who else to trust, so I called Russell, and I told him that I needed somebody to talk to. I explained all the symptoms that I'd been having and the trouble at work, and Russell said he thought for a long time that I had been struggling. He helped me get some real help with some real doctors, and they helped me learn that I could take bits and pieces from other people to make the person I wanted to be. I could be tough and hardworking like Brian, and I could be fun-loving like Dr. Humphreys. See, the funny thing was, when I saw those videos, I really liked myself. I decided that I liked TikTok. But if I was going to sing and dance, I thought I would try writing my own material for a change. I've found that dancing can be a really healthy way to relieve some stress. That and medication has helped me find a balance in my life. But the most important lesson I learned is that no man is an island. Even though I thought I could handle everything on my own, I really needed help. And I'm finding that things are easier now that I'm accepting it. Do you have trouble accepting help? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.